Good morning, students. During my last lecture, particularly on video lecture, I gave you the explanation of Elegy written country Churchyard, a long poem, and in that part we did explanation of stanza number 1 to 7. Today in this part second, we will take up stanza number 8 to stanza number 17. Before we begin, let me remind you that when we do reference to context, we have to keep four things in view. First is reference. Reference means name of the poet, poem, source, and the year in which it was published, etc. Context means the background of the lines which have been quoted. They must have been preceded by certain things, certain incidents. That is called context. And in explanation, we try to explain the lines which are before us in simple language. What has been said in those lines? And then we make certain comments, that is called critical comments, about the language, about figure of speech, or any kind of special feature in the quoted lines if we notice. Keeping all these things in view, we do explanation. Now let us move further and take stanza number 8. Stanza number 8 is let not ambition mock their useful toil. This stanza is one of the most famous stanzas in this poem. Here ambition stand for ambitious people who are after fame and name. Mock, make fun of, useful toil, hard work. The idea is, as we have noticed in the earlier stanzas, that these people led simple life. They tilled the land, grow the crops, and do kinds of jobs which were very useful to mankind. And they did not lead a luxurious life but simple life. Their homely joys, domestic pleasures which are often we can enjoy in a family, and destiny obscure. They could not become famous, they could not win name and fame. All these things. The idea is these people worked very hard and their labor was useful to mankind. They enjoyed simple domestic pleasures in the company of their family members and lived a life which was unknown to the world. For this, it is quite possible that ambitious people think that it is not an achievement and they should start making fun of these people. The poet advises ambitious people not to make fun of these people. Similarly, he talks in the third line, grandeur means great people who hold high position in society. They hear with a disdainful smile, disdainful, scornful, hateful smile, the short and simple annals of the poor, annals, short history, that these people did not achieve any remarkable thing in their life. It is quite possible that the people who hold high position in society, they might look at them with scorn, make fun of them. The poet advises them that they should not do so because these people were very useful during their lifetime for mankind. We should give due respect to them. Now, let us come to the next stanza, the boast of heraldry. Heraldry, ancient descent, that is belonging to a particular famous family. The history of that, pomp, show, or power. The idea is sometimes people are proud of belonging to a particular ancient descent, that I belong to particular family, I am Nehru family, I am Khan family, etc. And they show their power also, that by saying one sentence they can do this or that, or they can achieve, and all the people are afraid of them or their power. Such things often is seen for before powerful people. But the poet Thomas Gray wants to say that the pomp of power, that is show of power, belonging to a ancient disease, these are no excuse from death. In other words, they cannot save a person from death. Everyone has to die. That person who is born will certainly die. All that beauty, all that wealth ever gave. The idea is, if you are beautiful, you are having too much wealth, you can buy anything. But in spite of having all these things, you cannot escape from death. You will have to die. Awaits alike the inevitable hour, inevitable which cannot be avoided. That is death. Belonging to a particular family, having power, beauty, wealth, one has to die. No one can escape from death. The paths of glory lead but to the grave. There are many ways by which one can win glory, by winning medals, by showing bravery, or any kind of achievements. Whatever a person may achieve in his life, he will have to die also. He cannot escape from death. But the poet wants to say, death does not make any kind of discrimination between men and men on the basis of family background, power, beauty, or wealth. Before death, all become equal. Death is a great leveler. In the next stanza, the poet advises the reader, nor you, that is listener, you and me, ye proud people who are proud of their wealth, their power, etc. They should not impute to these the fault. Impute means blame. That if memory over their tomb no trophies raise. Memory in their memory on their tombstone, trophies, monuments raised, erected. These people were simple people of the village. They died and they were buried without having any kind of monuments over their graves. The poet asks or advises the proud people that if they do not have on their graves any kind of monument, for this these people should not be criticized, they should not be blamed. In the same way that some when rich person dies, many kind of activities are done or their death to make it memorable, where through the long drawn aisle and fretted vault on the thatched roof, which is decorated with carvings of the church, the pealing anthem means high sounding music swells the note of praise in the praise of God, in the praise of Creator, often played on just to make the death of the person memorable. For these people, these were the poor people, nothing of any such kind took place. For this, these people should not be blamed. What the poet wants to say, he advises the people that we should not feel proud of such things, that this was happened when that king died and these poor people died without any activity. They should not be differentiated. Now the poet, continuing the same idea, try to tell why. He tries to answer in the coming lines why we should not feel proud of our monumental achievements. Why? He says, can storied urn. Urn is a kind of vessel on which in Greek and in Rome people used to store the ashes of the dead person in the urn. With the passage of time, urn became very beautiful, and over them sometimes the life story of the dead person was carved. So these were very beautiful structures or product. Similarly, animated post means lifelike statue back to its mansion called the fleeting breath. Mansion here means body. Fleeting, short-lived breath means if a person is dead, his soul has left his body. Whatever we may do, whether we keep the ashes in beautiful urn or lifelike statue, the dead person will not revive. He will not come back to life again. Similarly, can owner's voice provoke the silent death? Means sometimes when a person is dead, the person who have come to pay their homage, they make speeches containing praise of the dead person, but they do not have any effect on the dead body. Similarly, in praise of the dead person, many people say, speak, they remain ineffective. They do not cause any kind of effect on the dead person. A person is dead, he is dead forever. So the poet wants to say that we should not feel proud of any worldly achievement. These are of no use before death. Now the poet moves on another idea. He looks at he looks at the churchyard and sees that this churchyard is not duly cared for. It is a neglected place, and he says, or the idea which comes into the mind of the poet is this, that it is quite possible that among these graves which are he able to see in the churchyard, it is quite possible that there may be lying buried some persons who were once may have become great if due opportunity would have been provided to them. The first thing is, the first idea comes into the mind of the poet is some heart once pregnant with celestial power. Pregnant means full of celestial, heavenly inspiration. It is quite possible that there might be some person who is buried among these dead. If he would have got a suitable opportunity, favorable opportunity, he might have turned up into a great prophet. He might have inspired divine love among the listeners. Similarly, hence that the road of empire might have swayed. That is quite possible that among these people who are lying buried, there may be some person, if he would have got an opportunity, he might have ruled an empire very skillfully, very impressively, or wake to ecstasy the living lives, or there might be some person, if he would have got some opportunity, he would have become a great musician, and in that capacity he would have produced music which would have caused extreme happiness in the hearts of his listeners. The idea is these people who are buried here, they did not lack talent. On the other hand, they might have become great musician, great emperor, or great prophet if they would have been given suitable or favorable circumstances. Now the next, in the next stanza, the poet regrets of what is happening to these people. The poet says, "But knowledge to their eyes her ample pays." These people could not win name, etc. At the same time, they could not get proper education. The knowledge which was acquired with the passage of time and was stored in books, they remained unknown to that knowledge because they did not get any chance. Rich with the spoils of time did never unroll. Rich spoils with the devotion of people towards a particular field and earning knowledge of a particular field and then storing that into books. Then our unrollness did not open. They remained closed books for them. Moreover, they might have some noble desires, impulses in their hearts for the benefit of mankind. They were also repressed because of chill penury, extreme poverty that did not allow to do what they wanted to do. And the freeze froze the genial current of the soul. Here there is a metaphor that's just as a stream which keeps on flowing. But if there comes frost, water starts freezing, then it move, does not move. It starts stopping. In the same way, they had some nice, generous feelings for the mankind, but they could not do because of poverty. Poverty stopped them from doing any noble deeds. In the next, the poet compares these people with gems, that is diamonds. Full many a gem of purest serene. Gem, diamond, precious stone of bright, serene bright means of exceptionally valuable quality. There are many gems of exceptional valuable quality. The dark, unfathomed means which have not been measured. Caves of the ocean bear is in the darkness of the ocean, in the bottom of the ocean where nobody has so far gone. There are many gems or diamonds which are lying in the sea, at the bottom of the sea, but which remain away from the public gaze. They have not come before the eyes of the public. It doesn't mean they are not valuable. In the same way, these people remained in a particular village. They could not get an opportunity to come before the public, but they had, we can say, talent. Similarly, the poet next compares them to flower, that there are many beautiful, sweet smelling, fragrant flowers bloom in the desert, but nobody is there to appreciate them. But it doesn't mean that they do not have value. The idea is just as a flower and a diamond or gem which remains hidden from the public, it doesn't mean that they are valueless. In the same way, these people did not come to the public gaze. It doesn't mean that they were valueless. They were very important. Now, in the next stanza, the poet says, "Some village Hampton." Here, the poet quotes the quality of these people. It is quite possible that among these people who are lying buried in this churchyard, there might have been some person who was as brave as Hampden was. With his dauntless, fearless heart, might have opposed the little tyrant of his fields with students opposed. He might have opposed the tyranny of any zamidar of that little village, just as Hampden opposed the tyranny of Charles I. In the same way, it is quite possible that among these people who are lying buried in these graves, there might have been some talented poet as Milton was, but he could not come into the light because he could not get opportunity. And at the same time, the poet feels happy also when he says it is quite possible that there might have been some person as talented as Cromwell was, who, because of his ambition, caused civil war and was guilty of the bloodshed of innocent people of his country. So it is quite possible that among these people there might have been some as talented as Cromwell. If he would have got an opportunity, he would have caused the bloodshed of his countrymen. So the poet feels very happy that he remained innocent. He could not do anything. In the next stanza, the applause means praise of listening senate parliament to command. That what the poet wants to say, that if opportunity would have been given to these people, some of them might have become great leaders, and in that capacity they would have addressed their parliament. And if they would have been reminded of the threat given to their country by enemy, they would have taken that lightly and would have made fun of that threat of causing ruin and destruction in their country of the enemy. And in that capacity they might have done some good jobs also, would have spread plenty over the means prosperity over their country on the land, and would have become very popular, and the read the history in the nation, and the coming generation would have remember them with praise in their eyes. The poet feels very happy also. Their lot forbade. Forbade means denied, prevented. Lot means luck. That the poet feels happy that their destiny, their luck did not stop or prevent them from achieving good things, but also stopped them from doing bad things also. Nor circumscribed, limited alone their growing virtue, that is good qualities, but their crimes confined and limited. The idea is, if they would have become or would have been given an opportunity, it is quite possible some of them might have become great person. They would have caused wonderful things for the benefit of mankind. But it is quite possible that if they would have got an opportunity, they might have become hard-hearted criminals, would have caused lot of problems for mankind. So they led an unknown life. This was a kind of blessing in disguise, as it limited their crimes also. If they would have become criminal or bad people, they would have wade means walk through the slaughter, killing or to a throne. In order to achieve a throne or power, they might have caused the bloodshed of innocent people and shut the gates of mercy on fire. Might have done certain things which made may have made them merciless without having any kind of pity for the people. But as they remained in their country, their village, and they did not get an opportunity, so they were saved from such crimes. And the poet consoles that their criminal activities were limited because of not given ample opportunity to them, and he is happy. So the poet is now balancing what they have achieved and what they could not achieve. It is quite possible some of them might have achieved good things and some of them might have achieved bad things. So the poet feels very happy means the sphere of their life was too narrow either to allow any great or noble deeds or to permit any crimes and cruelties. They did not become cruel tyrants who shut the gates of mercy on mankind. Thank you.